Good morning. It's nice to be here in the webinar about the future of modern workplace. And we claim that it's not the intranet, right, Jussi?
Yeah, let's see. Hi, Jukka. Cool to be here. Thanks.
Yeah, the same. Could you tell a bit about yourself to introduce to the listeners?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Jussi Mori. I'm a Office Services and Apps MVP now for the fifth year. And I'm in the internet space for a while. Started with it 12 years ago. And it has been very interesting to see the kind of the evolvement of the intranet until today. And I think we're going to have some fun today talking about this topic.
Yeah, I'm sure. My path or career with internet started probably in 2002 or something like that, when I was creating the first intranet on my career. And after that, I actually was building the first intranet products on top of Microsoft platforms.
Yeah.
So rather long way. And I hope that we can give some ideas for the audience.
Well, as I remember, your internet product was one of the first social internets, actually, based on the SharePoint 2007 platform.
Yeah, it was probably the first in the world.
Yeah, I remember. It was cool.
Yeah, it was fun to do.
Yeah.
Good. Should we go to the topic?
Sure. Yeah.
Perfect. So if we start from the essential purposes of an intranet, it seems Wire actually listed these five topics. Do you see that these are valid?
Yeah. So of course, deliver content. So you need information in order to make decisions at work, and the easier and faster you get this information, the faster obviously you can make decisions, and the faster things are getting done at work.
That's probably where we started with the internet product, something like 15 years ago, to make it easier, faster to deliver content for people within the company. But do you know what happened? It may be on too high level. Obviously, there are some main news that are interesting for the people. And if you look at the stats of any intranet, I would assume that the front page is the most visited page. And if you have a few headlines there, people may actually
consume.
Yeah, it's actually, I think that it's 3-digit number where if you think how often people are actually taking a quick look on their phone, so they are waiting for the notifications.
Yeah.
And that's actually the key hook, for example, in Facebook.
Exactly.
So it's
this little red number on top.
Yeah.
And it's this instant gratification what you get if someone likes your post. It's kind of a chemical reaction in your brain, and it releases dopamine when someone likes your post. And the more likes you have, the more you feel good about it.
Yeah. But do you think that the deliver content part is still kind of valid purpose, even though the traditional internet is failing with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it should be solved somehow.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the traditional internet is failing, but I think it's not anymore done in a way that it's fitting to the world we live today.
Yeah.
It's just too much behind still the time where we live right now. So you need other ways to deliver content. And I think that's the thing at the moment, what needs to be changed. Yeah. Because obviously we need the content to make decisions.
But email is not failing in deliver content, or is it?
No, it's still used a lot.
Yeah.
Even though, Teams has been changing now the industry quite a lot. And, you start to collaborate and communicate with the customers over Teams. But there's still some which are not jumped on that bandwagon yet, and there is still the kind of official communication with email still there.
Now, when you're talking about Teams, it's good moment to discuss a bit about the communicational tool, like two-dimensional communicational tool, one of the purposes of an intranet.
Yeah, so of course it's a communication, it's more like the top down. So the internet is more in a way that, okay, I have certain business processes, or I have product information, or I have some type of rules in my company, what I want to bring across, and this is more information which is not changing, on a daily basis. Whereas in collaboration, it's like changing all the time because you collaborate on things.
Yeah.
So this is, I can see this is still the purpose of the internet being this kind of one-way communication. Of course, with the whole social components you have with kind of the communication, commenting and liking and replying things, which are coming more and more and more, especially like in the modern SharePoint internet. This is kind of a standard feature for every news post, So you can see that the kind of the bidirectional communication in the internet is getting more and more and more kind of like valid or important.
Yeah, but I think that the business objective was already in mid 2000 that people would actually somehow contribute to comment the news, to comment the guidelines, to develop it a bit. And what was the end result? I think that when you looked at an intranet, it was like that there were only a few percentage of the employees who ever commented about anything.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a bit a cultural thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a very good friend of mine, Samuel Zürcher, always says, more and more teams, I need to say.
Yeah. So coffee machine is losing its importance because of kind of remote work?
No, I wouldn't say it's losing its importance, but it also gets
kind of more transparent, more equal discussions around certain topics. One of the key purposes of most of the intranets, the team sites, whatever the name is, work site, group, and so on. How long have you seen those in intranets?
Yeah, I mean, they are always a vital part of it. Obviously, you always have like two different parts of the corporate internet. You have the, let's say, the structural information, top-down type of thing, and then you have the collaborative side.
Yeah.
Where before Teams was done with SharePoint team sites, and now it's kind of shifting more and more into that area. Yeah. So what I see, at least with breaking silos in the modern SharePoint or SharePoint Online, I don't like the word modern anymore. How modern is it actually?
Yeah.
Anyway, different story. But the way how Microsoft is changing the information architecture, you can already see that they are like heavily pushing forwards breaking silos.
Yeah.
Remember before we had this portal sites and subsites and subsites and subsites and so on. Microsoft says subsite is the root of all evil, so don't do that anymore. So you have more like site collections, and you basically logically connect them together with hub sites and so on. So you can already see that there is a shift of mindset. And when I talk to customers about the new information architecture, I always need to explain them, hey, how does new world work? And it's for them like it needs some time to kind of shift, the mindset. But you can already see where the direction is going.
Yeah. Even though I would say that if you can just take a couple of subsites away, you still have separate hubs. So it's possible that there are still some silos in the future.
Yes.
And it's kind of natural thing, because if you think about the reasons why you collaborate, most often it's related to some kind of social object that you're interested in.
Yeah.
In work life, it's because your job is to do something that creates the social object that you're interested in. On personal life, the social object is more about your interests on hobby side, or from the learning point of view. You're just interested in Spanish culture, and then you want to kind of start to find people who speak Spanish or know about the Spanish arts or whatever.
Exactly.
but in a company or work life, it's more or less about what you are actually doing.
Yeah, or what is your job to do? Basically.
Yeah.
And in the end, the only thing what people want is getting their job done as simple and as fast as possible. And they don't care if it's Teams or SharePoint or Salesforce or HubSpot or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So the purpose of the IT and the kind of the management is to give the best environment for the teams to actually collaborate and curate and find and share information as seamless and easy as possible, and of course also in a secure manner. So that's the main purpose, what I think, and the tools actually don't matter.
I actually did roughly 20 interviews during the summertime with one global company, the kind of R&D people. And one of the questions was that what is the reason why they get interested in some new ways of working or some new software? Why they would use some time to learn how to use this new thing? And there was one common answer in all interviews, and the answer was that if it helps me to do my job,
absolutely.
If it makes my everyday life easier. So I would say that it's valid point still. How do you see how intranets actually succeeded in enabling collaboration?
I think they succeeded in some extent, but again, I mean, if you wouldn't have an internet or Teams site, it would be even harder. So I think it was a very great step forward coming from the file share and email world towards the intranet and SharePoint team site world. Right. So it was a big step, but it was still not, let's say, perfect.
I think that it was in most cases very document orientated collaboration.
Absolutely, and it was funny. I mean, you had this file share folder structures, and then you made a migration to SharePoint, and then you open the SharePoint site, the document library, and I had the same structure. People say, "Well, now this is in SharePoint, I still can't find my documents." So, it's really hard to unlearn old way of working and kind of come into this new way of sharing information and collaborating and so on. So change always takes time, and it's always slowed down through of change resistance.
Well, you said that it's hard to change what you are doing, and I think that if you think about the culture, which is the next point, the main thing is that people need to understand that the company culture is what people are doing. So, how do you see point number 4? Support the culture.
This is a very hard one, because I don't think that an intranet is there to create culture. I think it's the people who work together, who together decide to kind of, okay, this is the culture we want, or the C-level says this is the culture we are preaching because of the vision and the mission we have, and you can see that the culture is really hooked to one person. I mean, if you look, for instance, at Apple, how culture is changing with only one person, or better example, Microsoft. The CEO has changed the company totally around in kind of a few years, and one single person. And I don't think the intranet is able to do this, but the intranet is here to make it more transparent. So let's say the culture enablers, they have a tool to actually communicate what should be our culture, but it's then in the end by the user or the person itself to see, hey, is this a culture I am happy with, and can I live with that?
And I would say that the question of supporting the culture is kind of really easy to measure, and you can see it from the stats. Are people using your intranet, and for what purpose? If they are really doing stuff over there, then it's supporting some culture.
Yeah.
And then it's another question if it's the culture that you want to have in your company.
Yeah.
And for that, it's more or less responsibility of the management team and leadership to start to define the ways of working and start to enable people to work in a way that they want to work in that company. But well, I would say that with the point number 4, the traditional intranet was on the level of being a possible platform to enable the culture to flourish, but not kind of more.
Yeah.
How about the efficiencies? One of the most common problem I heard with the intranets was that or jokes that people were telling in meetings was that now this thing is in the intranet, so it's safe.
Yeah. Everyone has seen it.
Yeah. Information security was handled by putting stuff in the intranet. No one found them. Is that true, or was the internet a tool that actually created efficiencies?
I think so. Just also, again, to some certain level. I think companies without intranets, they have another problem.
Yeah.
Of course, it always depends a bit on the size of the company. But the problem with internet and efficiency is that if you only, let's say, dump your information in the internet, people have this kind of need to pull the information by themselves.
Yeah.
And then you cannot really, let's say, be sure or clear that if everyone really read the memo. Right?
Yeah, I think that this 5th point is the key when it comes to the intranet purposes, because that's what most of the line managers or directors are looking for. They want to be able to work more efficiently. They want to create efficiencies on company level, and then it comes to personal level. What's important for the people. It's actually the same thing, even though people are putting it in different words. Regular employees are not saying that I want to be more efficient. They are saying that I want to have more smoother work day.
Yeah.
I want to have more time for real kind of work.
Less frustration.
Yes.
Work.
And all of the other things come through this, I would say. If you can manage in creating efficiencies on both personal and company level, team level, through the internet, then you're actually delivering content.
Exactly.
Then you're actually building a key communicational tool because people come there. It's a strong motivation. You are actually enabling collaboration because otherwise you cannot be just effective.
Yeah.
And you are supporting the culture because then you are actually in the heart of the culture on doing level. People are doing stuff with your internet. So how do you see the future? How could we actually meet these purposes?
Well, I mean, we opened this webinar with a very let's say strong title.
Yeah.
The future of modern workplace is not the intranet. So let's have a look at it. What we mean.
Okay. So should we have a demo?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have a little story here. We have a demo bot where we actually use to communicate with let's say a personal assistant you would have in your organization. And the story here is that I would be a new sales rep in this organization, and I have got a call from a customer who I don't know yet, and say, hey, we're running out of some spare parts and we need them now, and so on. And I'm a little bit scared. Well, what should I do? And then one of my teammates said, hey, no worries, you can actually talk to this bot. And let's talk to him. Let's call him. Let's wake him up. So the thing is that how I see the future of the internet is more in a way that we start to work and retrieve information more in a conversational level not in an explorational level that we try to find them, but actually through interaction with the technology nowadays, we are actually go and see what type of information we have. So for instance here, the bot asks me now, okay, how can I help you with? And maybe I will write in now a question that I need some machine data. I looking for machine data for Contoso. So, of course, Contoso.
Contoso is probably the customer.
Exactly. Yeah. So now the bot says, okay, yeah, I found something. So maybe you're looking for this type of information. So now we can click on a link, and it will actually show us a dashboard where we can find different information about it. And actually now the bot already highlights the right information what I need. So even though I had a lot of information coming into me, but now I get the right context at the right time, right?
Yeah.
So
that's really cool.
So this is kind of the key. So you get the right information at the right time in the right context.
Yeah. So you actually didn't have to first memorize what is the structure of data within our company.
Yes.
How much more efficient is that?
Yeah, you can think yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, now I got this information what I need, and then I can go back to the bot, and then he says, okay, would you like to analyze the report for you? And I said, okay, yeah, why not? So I click on yes, and now the bot is doing its magic in the background, and then it actually says, okay, hey, according to the report, following machine require maintenance soon. So it kind of picked up another context which would actually be interesting for that sales rep to actually know. Oh, hey, yeah, let's have a look at that Power BI.
As a sales rep, I would call that a hot lead.
Yeah, exactly. So through the help of the machine, the sales rep actually got the information which is relevant to another department in the organization, but actually is in a way helping his sales because it's about his customer.
Yeah.
And if he can come and go and contact that sales rep or the maintenance, so already here from the bot saying, okay, if you click on it, let's call up our sales rep, our maintenance person, and say, hey, did you notice? Did you notice that actually some of the machines need maintenance, and here is the report to it. Have a look, and so you kind of create this, this culture of collaboration, helping each other, driven through the technology. And then, of course, I still need to do my own job. So the bot is then still saying, hey, are you still in need on the order of the spare parts? So kind of the first purpose of the thing I needed to do. So, and then the demo tells you, okay, the bot tells you, hey, here is actually the link where you can order the spare parts right away. So let's do that. So here we are on a simple SharePoint form. And here, again, the bot is helping me because I do that the first time. So it gives me in context help information to say, hey, okay, give your order a name. Okay, let's do that.
So it's actually delivering some content to you.
Yes. And context. Okay, next. Okay, interesting. Go next. So now it's giving me kind of the next information. Okay, for which category do you need to order? Yeah, let's do it for production. And then next. So I get this really like step-by-step information, even kind of, order number. Yeah, always they come from SAP. I have no idea. So you can post a video there, how it works directly in there. And then enter the customer here. Okay. Yeah. And then once I'm done, I just save it. And now basically what is going on is that it creates this information in SharePoint site and actually triggers a notification in Teams in the right channel, like the kind of the channel who is taking care of the operations and the orders and so on, saying, hey, there is a new order coming in, order number like this, and they can actually start working right away. So as you can see, there is the kind of the contextual information coming from the machine, the kind of the interaction of the sales rep with the bot, and actually automation of notification and communication done within Teams.
Yeah, through this example, if we revisit the essential purposes of an intranet, the first one was deliver content.
Yes.
It's actually delivering content, but in context.
Yes.
And via notifications.
Yes.
And based on what you are thinking, what you are verbalizing.
Yes.
I would say.
Yes, and also highlighting, and it kind of figures out the intent. After we have done this discussion, we can quickly show how this is set up. It's pretty easy done. It's a service called LUIS, Language Understanding Intelligence Services.
Yeah.
So there you can actually go on and train that bot all the time, adding more intents, adding more context to the content, what you need.
Yeah.
So the bot will start understand more and more what people are asking for and can guide you much easier and faster to information what you need.
Yeah, and then it comes to enable collaboration, culture efficiencies, and so on. So it's not only answering to your specific question, but it also provided data about things that may be relevant for you. For example, this maintenance part.
Exactly, and there is where the machine learning basically kicks in and can kind of supercharge the kind of the meta information of an organization, which creates the context. I always say content is king, but context is queen. So if you have those two together, you can really supercharge your kind of content delivery and collaboration.
But what happens to traditional news? Are they disappearing?
No.
No. That's exactly what I think. It's the same thing. If it's relevant for you,
but
those things are providing the news for you through notifications.
Our point is that the retrieval of news will change. Yes. So probably you would go in the bot and say, hey, what's new on product XY? And then the bot will go and say, hey, here is a news article A, B, C, D, E. Have a look.
Yeah. Or if it's written in your profile that you're interested in certain topics, whenever there's something new, you get the notification.
Yes.
Okay, hey, there's something for you.
So you can imagine this. What we want to say is that the future of the modern workplace is more going towards your personal digital assistant. It actually starts to learn what you need in your work all the time and will be getting better and better to deliver you content faster. And even it could go like this, that in the morning you come to the office and it says, hey, so here is your reports, what you need to know, here is that and that and that, according to your behavior last week. Actually, this could be interesting for you. Have a look. In this kind of all this science fiction movies, this is basically all the time what is happening, but this is exactly where the technology is leading us and where we actually should put our efforts in. So imagine how much time it would save to create RFPs. If a lot of things what are done all the time over and over again, you could automate like this.
Yeah.
So nowadays, I'm still companies are losing business because they are not fast enough to deliver information what the customer needs to create offers.
Yeah.
Just as a small example.
Yeah, and especially if they are delivering such information that's not answering the question that the customer had. Good. There are some other purposes still left. So communication, I think that everyone saw that it's more kind of two-dimensional communication thing, and you are not communicating only with other people, but also with kind of artificial intelligence in a way. The same with the collaboration, but whenever you need people, it's possible to make the machines to suggest that there's some people you should maybe contact.
Yes, I think the machine will not replace the face-to-face human connection, but it can actually help you to find the right person faster and give you automate notifications which help you to do your work faster.
And I think that it's not actually only the intranet's scope. It's the modern workplace. It's the society or the well, it can be customers, it can be partners that are collaborating with you.
Yeah.
And these things can actually work with them as well. So, for example, I think that this bot could actually help you to inform directly the customer that, hey, should you maybe be discussing with the maintenance engineer on the site because your machine is going to break down in 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine if you get this kind of contextual information through intent, through kind of pattern recognition, how much service breakdowns could be saved through only this. Coming from IoT data, and they are analyzing it and so on. And all this kind of intelligent services, they get better and better and better all the time, especially what Microsoft has to offer with cognitive services and so on. This is amazing stuff. Nowadays is possible to do what would have been impossible a few years ago.
Yeah.
So, it makes really sense to kind of look what type of building blocks do we have here in the Office 365 world, and how can we connect the dots in a meaningful way that we create as much value as fast as possible.
Yeah. And what's actually really, really fun on personal level for me, I used to have great difficulties in creating kind of business cases for intranets for the customers because it was so hard to measure. It was self-evident that you need some kind of tool for this part of your business. But whenever it got on the level of management team, you needed the business case. And it was kind of stupid that you needed to push your business case based on the idea that, okay, we have this product that makes the lifetime total cost of ownership smaller than the kind of tailor-made internet would have. You were not answering to the question, what is the business case? Because you were not kind of capable to do that. But now when you can find this kind of use cases that we had today that are really business critical, and you can measure that with the help of the intranet, in a way, if we call this intranet, you can shorten the cycle of getting the right answer to the customer by 80 or 90%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because of that, you can win this much more cases.
Yeah.
You have real business case behind the internet.
I mean, that's exactly the point, what you told before. What's the real business case of an internet? How do you measure information work productivity?
Yeah.
That's something I tried to do for I don't know how many years. Yeah. It's really difficult because the problem is the human variable.
Yeah.
Humans are not constant. They are. You have moods. You have emotions. You have you can have a bad day, have a very good day. So your output is not always like linear. It goes like this. This is really hard to kind of measure.
Yeah.
And especially because also the tools and the information are changing really fast. I mean, especially now also with Office 365, there are new features coming out every 2 weeks almost.
Yeah.
And users need to relearn how they do stuff all the time. So you never have really this kind of baseline of let's say, common productivity output, what you could actually measure. And therefore, it's really hard to say. But as said, having said that, in the end, it boils down to how fast can I get the information I need? How good is the quality of the information that I can make a decision? How easy can I bring this decision across? And how fast can I trigger business processes, which basically help me to fulfill the decision what I have done.
Yes.
So that's it.
Good. I think that we could discuss endlessly about these topics, but maybe it's good time to start to wrap up things in a way. And if there's any questions, we are obviously happy to answer. But from my point of view, the biggest thing in the future is that if you think the past, we started from a time when every decision maker had their personal assistants to make their work much more effective, to help them to enable collaboration, to support the culture, and so on. Then we tried to do that through the intranet, but it was not personal assistant.
No,
it was kind of the same thing for everyone. And now we are actually heading to a time when we can actually create this personal assistant with the digital tools.
Yeah.
So that makes it possible to create a personal assistant for everyone, not only for the management team.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, that would be the goal, basically, of the internet. I mean, the personalized content is something what has been asked for all the time. I mean, we have been in internet projects a lot all the time. Customers said, I can have a personal view on this, my documents are on sites, and you always go, it's hard to do in SharePoint and so on. It's changing, especially also the new SharePoint Home is much, much more personal content, also thanks to the help of Office Graph, which picks up your kind of signals in terms what are you working on and who are you working with, and according to that it delivers you the right information you need. But it's still like on this kind of big portal way of thing where you need to go and look for the stuff yourself. So if you have a digital assistant which actually points you out to the right direction and saying, hey, do this, look at this, maybe this is interesting, and helps you step by step go through your processes.
And this is the way how you actually do this thing.
This is the way where it goes to.
Good. I think that someone actually asked about the way how to implement this kind of things nowadays. What do you need really to start?
The thing is that there is a lot of technologies already here what you can use. I mean, this is a demo. Obviously, we built now over summer, and it took us maybe a few days to do this. Okay. Of course, there's also a product involved which helps in some parts, but even if you don't have this third-party product, you already right now can create an assistant like that pretty easily. The thing is just about finding the right tools and actually asking the right questions and connecting the right dots. But with Office 365, you have like a Ferrari in your garage, and most customers are using the tricycle to go to work. So it's really have a look what there is, and obviously we can help with that because we have been creating different use cases and scenarios over the time, and just have an open mind.
And in this particular case, we used also Habit. Which actually would make it possible to bring this personal assistant outside from the teams as well.
You
could have it everywhere. So there are possibilities available.
What we used was Habit, we used the bot framework, we used Teams, we used Flow, we used Power BI, we used Lewis, and that's
pretty much everything.
So the next evolution would be to actually hook it to really like a machine learning system where we could actually it would then automatically create intents and learn through the conversation.
And then came the question about how to get started. But what's the thing that you need to do in your own organization if you want to start to build this kind of world?
First find your pain. Find your pain point, because if you identify here it hurts, then you can go and find help. Hey, how can I solve this pain point here? And go get help. I mean, you don't need to do stuff all yourself. Especially, it's not your core business. Your core business is what you deliver as a service as a customer, and you should be actually really be focusing on this. And there are some crazy dudes around who have good ideas how to make solve problems.
So basically, know your business well enough to be able to spot that these are the most important pain points that we have in finding the right information, in doing the jobs as fast as possible, or whatever is the pain point. And from there, the journey begins.
I think that was a good ending note.
Good. Thank you for all who were online, and hopefully the recording that you will get will help you. If you have any questions, just connect me or Jussi or find out the information from Cloudriven's site if there's some sales rep. Good. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.